sometimes in films I'll see a scene between two people where one person knows something's wrong and they want to kind of be the, hey, how's it going? And everybody's trying to make nice. And it feels forced when we realize there's a problem underneath the surface and it just hasn't come out yet. So character A is trying to get character B to admit that there's some type of a problem.
Ooh, that's a weird specific one.
Yeah, but I see it and it's
I'm wondering
it
if
feels
this has to do with what Roger Ebert used to call the idiot plot, where the thing is if two characters just said what they know to each other, the movie would be over in 5 seconds.
Pretty much, okay, yeah.
And so basically what it is you have a character that is being forced by the writer, not by in real life. In real life they would say something, but if the writer realizes if they say it, the movie's over in 5 minutes, or now this thing goes in a different direction. So they don't say those things, they keep them to themselves, which plays false. Instead, what we want to do is we want to have and this is the thing, often people, they're afraid to create the conflict because the conflict gets into the messy stuff. And so they hold back on the conflict when we need to get into that conflict. There's a thing that another screenwriting problem is delaying things because well, that conflict really can't happen until this point, this point in the movie when we're at this point. Well, what usually happens is they stall until they get to that conflict. When instead what they should do is have that conflict happen here and then have things just continue to get worse. So that scene here, instead of being the beginning of the conflict, instead is when the conflict's a hell of a lot worse. They don't escalate their conflict enough, and escalating conflict is important. Again, it's in dialogue, it would seem false if that character didn't say, there's a problem and here's what it is, or I have an issue with you, and they need to have that issue. It needs to start here. The fuse needs to not just be lit, but then it needs to explode, and that explosion has to start a chain reaction of other explosions. So that's like an Act 2 problem often, is writers try to hold everything off until Act 2 when you need to kick off with something exciting happening. There's a thing I call the golfing goat rule, where if your movie is about a farmer with a goat that learns how to golf and plays in the PGA, you can't hold the secret of the goat golfing until page 25, because the poster shows Gertie the golfing goat. There's the trailer that shows the goat golfing against Tiger Woods. All that stuff is given away to the audience, so you can't hold that back. Instead, you got to basically hit the ground running with the goat golfing. And from there, you go, well, that has to happen deep in the story. Well, that only has to happen deep in the story if then nothing much happens. Instead, you need to have that happen up front and then keep escalating the golfing until, I don't know, the goat's golfing with the president. I have no idea.